Hey, I'm here at IEM Katowice 2017 with Autimatic. You must think you're pretty good at this game.
I actually think we suck because we made it, or we didn't make it out of groups. So
I mean, there's a strong individual focus in this game, and you played really well. Does that count for anything?
it doesn't mean anything if you don't make it out of groups.
Only score that matters is the one at the top.
I've never heard that, but yeah.
Scoreboard, like the.
Oh yeah, yeah, that makes
It's a
sense.
good one to keep your team motivated when they're down on themselves. What were you talking about with Coldair at the after party last night?
Uh, well, Cold's probably the best player in the world right now, and I was just telling him that whenever I watch his demos, he looks like he's always supporting, but somehow he's always, you know, the superstar.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was just telling him that I really admire that about him, and then I was asking him like how he practices and stuff. So.
Who are some other people that you watched demos of?
I've probably watched demos of every player in the scene.
I guess I should ask who do you like take the most from, or like go back to the most?
It probably depends on who I am, or what spot I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I'll watch demos of like in-game leaders because, um, not to like rag on any in-game leaders, but they're not always the most skilled on their team, but they find a way to get clever kills.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously for me, I feel like I have some skill or I have a decent amount of skill, and I think it would be beneficial for me to learn how to get kills without having to use it.
Mm-hmm.
So I watch demos of probably Gabi. I watch a lot of demos of Gabi actually,
Mm-hmm.
just because he always finds like a cool flash to get a kill or like a cool smoke to get a kill.
Right.
So probably him, Zipnix, Coldzera. Yeah, probably those three I watch the most demos of.
Since EPL when you guys won, you've guys had like on and off performances, but you mentioned to me like yesterday that you felt like you didn't lose in terms of how close you came to winning and like the rounds that you won. Maybe you guys won a lot of rifle rounds, or can you expound on that? Why did you feel like that scoreline was closer than it was? Or you felt like you won more than one game that you lost?
Uh, the two games were one was against North on Cobble, and one was against Nabi on Mirage on Cobble. I felt like we had like a really terrible CT side, and normally it's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Normally we play pretty well on CT. Um, and then on T side we started making a comeback. But if we had a better CT or played our normal game on CT side, I think we had a good chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
And then against Navi, I definitely think that we like threw that game because we lost 5 rounds in a row and we came back and it was 5-5,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had 16K
Mm-hmm.
and we managed to end the half 5-10, or sorry, 10-5.
High five.
Yeah, but they had 10 and we had 5.
Oh,
So that's like really hard to lose out 5 rounds in a row with $16,000 when the other team is like low on economy.
you found a way.
Yeah, so that's why I'm very disappointed about that loss, and I felt like it should have been our game.
We talked about this the other day as well. Like, how hard is it to put these like losses in perspective? Like you just meant, we just now talked about how like it's cool to play well individually. Oh, there's some cool stuff. Talk about the map, but if you don't get 16 rounds, it's an L, and like sometimes the results in like being eliminated from a tournament. It's like how hard is it to keep all those in your mind? It's like we almost did it. Like we almost succeeded. We almost won this map. We almost like moved on to the semis or whatever, and separate that from the really bad losses. Or like, how do you put everything in perspective?
I think the best way would be to rewatch the game that you played and, see how you lost because what tends to happen is a lot of times after a close loss, people just say like, "Oh, I just missed this kill. If I got this kill, then,
Yeah.
we win the round or whatever." And those things obviously like they play a factor, but I think the main thing to take away from losses is, like did you run the right strategy at the right time? Did this person rotate at the right, like it's just all like all that kind of stuff is hard um to see after a loss unless you rewatch the demos. So,
Yeah, yeah, we've all been there. We just like you'd think about that like 26th round. You're like, if I got that 1v1, or if I had that one kill in the 2v2 or whatever it was. Okay, so do you guys watch demos together? Is everyone watching demos?
I think I mean I watch a lot of demos like on my own time.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone probably puts in some time watching demos just to like learn how to play their spots if we're switching spots around or learn how to like work a spot on T side. But I don't think we've ever watched like a demo together unless it was reviewing our own.
Mm. That can be difficult watching like a loss with your teammates. I tried that and my team like disbanded. Has that ever happened where it just gets heated when you're watching like a loss?
Uh, no. Well, okay, yeah, it does get pretty heated, but I think everyone on the team just uh, they just know that we just want to win, and it's okay, like if we get mad at each other because that's just like, how much we want to win.
Mm. Going back to what we talked about, how would you rate the past performances that you guys have played in since EPL? Like at least a couple of ninth to 12 finishes, like a second place here and there at some of the qualifiers. How would you like out of 10? How do you feel about your performances since EPL?
If I'm being honest, even our performance in EPL, I didn't think was that great.
Whoa.
Yeah, so um, SK, I think they were having an off day, and we were having a really good day. We were just hitting all of our shots.
Hmm.
And back then, we still didn't have any real like system or way to play the game. We kind of just had like a lot of fast like gimmick strats, um, and it just caught a lot of people off guard because this was like a new five and nobody had seen us do any of these strats. So there's really nothing for teams to go off of. But I think the reason why we dipped in performance after that is because teams started to learn what we did, and we never like adapted or innovated new things. So yeah, I would just say that it was only a matter of time until we're getting the results that we are now.
Hmm.
But it's a real like eye opener, and now we have to really put in more time to set like a good foundation for our team.
You guys talk about like the style that like people adapted to. If I could describe it, I would say it was pretty loose, relatively default heavy, some fast stuff, but like a lot of map control into like burning grenades and then like splits. I mean, in a sense, it felt like. Did you watch Fnatic? I don't want to put you on the spot, but did you see Fnatic play like any of their games before they eliminated like Immortals, for example?
No, we had practice the whole time they were
Uh,
playing, so I didn't watch any of their games.
yeah, so like they're put together kind of like they're playing that old style, which is like very loose, and there's a lot of individual skill. And you're saying that you were hitting a lot of shots. It's like some teams should rely more heavily on individual skill. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think Fnatic, the thing about the way they play is like every player is so smart individually that like if they see a split second opening, they'll take it, and then their teammate will see that they're taking it. Then that person will do something off of it as well, and that style is definitely, I think it suits their team.
Mhm.
But for our team, um, it's I think we need a little bit more structure so then everyone knows what everyone's doing and everyone has like a protocol, and I think that would benefit us more.
So does that mean more executes?
Not really executes, but just like what do we do if it's a 5-on-5 and we have these parts of the map? What do we do if it's a 4-on-4 and we have these part? Like
Hmm.
just like well thought out plans for every scenario,
Right,
pretty
like a
much.
flow chart.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Can you do that though with like how situational everything can get? Like if you're 4v4 and then one nuance thing changes and it's not in the plan, and like how you respond kind of comes down to like how you react, right?
Yeah. I think it's dependent on the team. For my team, um, like Skadoodle, Shroud, like I can tell them to do something, um, like from 3 months ago, and if I ask them to do that same thing and I haven't asked for it in 3 months, they'll
Hmm.
still know exactly what to do.
Okay.
So I think for our team, it benefits us a lot to have that type of structure. And if there are those small like changes that change up the protocol, then I think they do a good job adapting as well. So it's not really, it doesn't have to be uh, exact, but just having like the general idea of like what to do would benefit a lot.
Changing gears a little bit, how do you feel about like the whole like doing interviews, your social media, to caring about your Twitter presence and trying to build up your own fan base? Like how important is that to you?
If I'm being honest, before it used to be really important. I wanted to have like a big stream, a big following. And then now, I'm not like, I don't have as big of a following as like Shroud or nothing, but to me, it's really about CS now. Um, Yeah, so it's not as important to me, but I obviously appreciate anyone that supports me. So
I feel like does Shroud really like care that much about his? I'm not saying he doesn't care about his fans, but he seems very just like he loves streaming and he has like a big Twitter following probably because of his stream. But like, is he always talking about that? Like how he's building up his fan base, or like does he want it big?
I think the thing about Shroud is that he's a gamer. Like
Yeah.
if he wasn't playing competitively, he would still be playing games.
Hmm.
So I think streaming to him is just like his hobby. Like he does it for fun, and because he does it for fun, people like watching him, and it just he just built his brand just by having fun. But for me, I'm not I'm not a gamer. I like competing, and that's why I play CS is to compete. So anytime I'm playing CS, I try to make it all about winning or improving.
Hmm.
Uh, but I don't really play any games outside of that.
If you weren't doing CS, what'd you be doing?
If I wasn't doing CS, I would probably well, if I had never played CS before, I would be going to school, trying to become a programmer or like an engineer. And then, but if I were to quit CS now, I would probably I'd probably do the same thing. Yeah, I would probably go back to school because that's something I really want to do eventually.
Really want to do eventually. All right, very cool, man. Thanks for the interview. It's always fun. And if you want more esports coverage, make sure to check it out, Yahoo Esports.